Whenever you have movement between metal on metal parts, you need to have proper lubrication. Otherwise, there's going to be too much friction and heat, and the parts are going to wear prematurely. Within the engine, this lubrication is provided by the engine oil. Within the transmission, by the hydraulic fluid. But what about the external parts that need lubrication? Say, for example, the joints on a loader arm. For those applications, you're going to need to apply grease with the grease gun, and today I'm going to show you how. Here are the things that we're going to need in order to get this job done. First, you're going to need a grease gun and grease. There are many different types of greases. For example, there are greases for marine applications, in other words, for corrosive environments. There are greases for high temperature applications, like what you'd want to use in a hydraulic hammer. And of course, there are general purpose greases, like the one that I have here. You're also going to want to keep some Zerks lying around. What is a Zerk? Well, a Zerk is the fitting through which grease is pumped into the joint. The Zerk fits right onto the end of the grease gun, and it allows grease to be pumped in high pressure into the joint. Like most things with threads, Zerks come in both SAE and metric sizes. One other thing I'd like to quickly note about the grease. Notice how on the tube there's an NLGI number, in this case it's a number 2. NLGI stands for National Lubricating Grease Institute. Yes, there actually is such a thing. NLGI has a scale ranging from 000 up to 6. This scale indicates more or less the thickness or the viscosity of the grease. For most applications in normal conditions, so not extreme cold, not extreme heat, you're going to want to use a number 2 grease. Now, if you have some exotic equipment that runs at 20,000 plus RPM, you're probably going to want to use a different grease, most likely something heavier. But for most applications, a number 2 grease will suffice. Here's how you load grease into a grease gun. First, the grease gun needs to be separated into its 2 halves. They just screw apart. Next, you need to open up the grease tube. Grease tubes always have one end with a tab on it that looks kind of like a soda can, and another end with a plastic cap. It's important to note that the end with the plastic cap is always the end that gets inserted into the grease gun. So this end will be on the bottom, whereas the end with the tab will be on the top. Lastly, with the plunger fully retracted, in other words, pulled all the way out like it is now, the grease tube needs to be inserted into the grease gun, and then the top can be screwed back on. We're just about ready to start greasing, but before we do, we have to engage this plunger so that it pushes grease into the head of the grease gun. That's done simply by pushing down on this tab right here. There we go. Okay, here's the first grease point. It's located on the front wheel case support. For a tractor of this size, about 4 to 5 pumps of grease per Zerk is correct. Okay, notice how the grease is spilling out around the Zerk. It's not actually going into the joint. That tells me that either the Zerk is bad or there could be hardened grease in the joint that needs to be cleaned out. This tractor hasn't been maintained for quite some time, and it probably hasn't been greased for over 100 hours. Because of that, the grease that's in there may have hardened and it's not allowing the new grease in. Let's first try replacing the Zerk and let's see if that fixes the problem. Okay, let's see if this is any better. Much better. Here's a view of the other side of the joint after those 6 pumps of grease. You can tell that we're done because you can see fresh grease squeezing out. And in fact, on this one there's quite a bit of grease, which means I gave it a bit too much. That's okay though, because I'm going to wipe it up. You don't want to leave grease on the exposed surfaces of the machine because it will attract dirt and make a mess. It's also good to wipe down the Zerk. The next Zerk is on the front axle support. And on the other side we have Zerks in the same 2 spots. One on the front wheel case support, well, same problem. The other Zerk is on the back side of the front axle support. The last 2 Zerks are at the back of the tractor on the top link support. I just pressure washed the loader and put it back on the tractor, so now it's time to grease. You always want to grease after you pressure wash because the high pressure will wash the grease out of the joints. This loader has 6 grease points per side. We're going to hit all of them. For this job, I've pulled out my electric grease gun. I really like this grease gun because it's faster than the manual one and it has a counter on it. What that means is that there's a dial that I can set from anywhere from 1 to 50, which will limit the amount of grease that's dispensed per trigger pull. In this case, I have it set to 4. So after 4 piston strokes in the grease gun, it'll stop dispensing grease until I release the trigger and pull it again. This is really nice because it helps prevent over-greasing. I'll put links to the electric grease gun and the manual one in the description. They're both fine, it's just that the electric one is better for bigger jobs. One quick thing worth noting, on any piece of heavy equipment, you're generally going to have grease points at either end of a hydraulic cylinder. Let me show you what I mean. On the bucket cylinder, there's a grease point at the rod end, and there's another grease point at the cylinder end. Same thing is true for the hydraulic cylinder that lifts the arm. There's a grease point at the cylinder end, and there's another one at the rod end. This is just a good rule of thumb to use so that you don't miss any grease points. The first 2 grease points are down by the bucket, one at this hinge point and the other at the rod end of the hydraulic cylinder. The next 2 are at the middle of the arm. And the final 2 are by where the loader connects to the tractor. One at this hinge point and one at the rod end of this cylinder. And now for the other side. This old Kubota is now greased and ready to go. I hope that you found this content useful, and if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe.